Good afternoon. My name is Dennis Dubus. You pronounce my name Dubus. So, Dubus. It rhymes with abuse. So, a little catchphrase to make it easy for you to remember. Welcome to my home. Sorry for all the busyness, but it's not nice outside. So, you get to see the inside of my house. So, my final project is on A.E. Houseman, Karen Finley, Frank Zappa, and Scott Momaday, Richard Finley, and Mabel Dodge Luan. And there's me in the middle with the light on. I chose to use a window pane as a process to view their creations and how I view their creations. Unfortunately, because of the poor lighting I have in my house for video taking, I had to use a white backdrop to be able to get everything stand out. My creation of the window pane is not perfect, and it's not perfect on two levels. One is it's been a long time since I've done woodworking. Two, I don't believe creativity is ever finished. I think there's always flaws in creativity. Um, Even in scientific laws, there's room for discussion, room for error, and science is never done, and creativity is never done. I chose these six individuals randomly. I had only heard of one of them in my entire time, maybe two if I press myself back to the Challenger days and Richard Feynman and his investigations, the congressional investigations into the Challenger accident. But I only really knew Frank Zappa. I had many contemporaries that loved Frank Zappa's music. I was not one of them. I thought of it as noise. But it doesn't matter what I think of his work. Other people thought it was art. And this is one thing that struck me very strongly about what Frank said about music, about his music. The artist has to will it to be music. The audience has to perceive it to be music. For it to be music, the two have to agree that it's music. If one doesn't agree that it's music, is it really music? Every single one of these creators that defined themselves um, share very little in common other than they created within their sphere of what they wanted, and they became masters at that want. Um, Edward Huseman um, really wanted to be a poet, but he's more known as for that poetry than what he did as his body of work, which is the translation of obscure astronomical Roman poetry. Who knew? But that's his legacy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Mabel Luan, I found to be an interesting character, and the one thing I took away from her, probably what she doesn't want to be known for, is her peyote ingestion. But it allowed her to find her tranquility and allowed her to finish her life's passion for blending the indigenous American um, creativity, the Hispanic creativity, and the American creativity in one central location. Karen Finley, I'm not sure that I understand her work. It's brash, it's bold. Um, I understand that she has a voice and she deserves to be heard. I'm not too sure it's a voice I want to hear, but she speaks loudly, and that's something to see and understand. Um, there's not much I have in common with that lady. Overall, most of these people crave attention, they crave people. I'm the exact opposite. I really don't like being around people, but they needed a lot of individual time. And I need some people time. So I need more individual time a little bit of people time. They needed more people time than I did. Another thing that we share is that an openness to new ideas. Even though I don't like being out in public, I don't like engaging with people. I like reading on new ideas. I like discussing them with a few select people in my life that I enjoy being around and seeing what they think without judgment. So overall, the reading of these individuals, these creators, comparing themselves, contrasting myself to them, then creating my visual work was a challenge. It's not something I do very often. Is compare myself, whether I'm contrasting myself to other people. It's not something I do. I don't measure myself to other people. I'm not sure that they did. I know Frank never did. He never judged or compared himself to other people. It just wasn't in his makeup. But the thought process of making this, I was going to have the curtains across this, but my measurements were wrong and they hung over, and I can't draw them to reveal the window that is part of the creativity. Richard Feynman often described play. So while he was thinking of one thing, an idea would manifest itself while he was playing with something else. So something led to something that led to something. That's my project. Thank you for your attention.